everybody, and welcome to another week of Understanding Spirit. And thank you for tuning in to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. I hope you've all had a good week. Today we are going to be looking and talking about these little babies. That's a pendulum. And for anyone who doesn't know what a pendulum is, we use this for guidance, and we use it for a technique called dowsing. And I'm going to show you a few different ones because I've had a good week. I've gone a little nuts and bought a few of them. So I've got a couple of my little friends here with me, and so I'll be showing a few of them to you, and I will program one live so you can just see how to go about doing it, and I'll give you a bit of an idea of how to use it and just explain a little bit about it to you. Okay, now within our body we have a lot of wisdom. We don't feel like we do. We're always looking externally for our answers. However, if we are working with our higher self, we actually do have everything we need to know. It's just that we just don't trust ourselves. Okay, so we're always going to somebody else for advice. Of course, when we have medical issues, legal issues, psychological issues, of course, we need help and guidance from experts. But for our everyday kind of things, giving ourselves advice and stuff like that, we do have a lot of wisdom within us. Now, the pendulum, this is one that I use. It's the one that I was just showing you. It's a general pendulum. Or I use it generally. It's not a general pendulum. It's the way that I use it for readings, and it's very beautiful. I love it. It's my favorite. It's got a little star in there, and it's a little bit blingy, which, very me. And so the pendulum is a very powerful tool, and bad things come out of good intentions. So you always have to be very careful when you're using it. You have to be responsible. You have to work with your highest good for yourself and for others. All right. It can be used, of course, like I said, for personal guidance and for healing. If you want to gather information about somebody else, you really need to have their permission first. Unless somebody comes to you for a reading, or you're reading for somebody and the answer is for yourself and that other person is involved in the situation and the answer benefits them as well. It's not something to be used just to be nosy about what's going on in somebody else's life, like, is so-and-so happy in their marriage? If you're just asking for things like that, that's using it, not for your highest good. All right. Now, I guess a quick thing to sort of mention is, what does a pendulum know? This little baby, it knows nothing. On its own, it knows nothing. All right. Energetically, it will gravitate to you. However, if you were out looking for a pendulum, I've been in crystal shops where they've got pendulums and they're all hanging, and there might be 10 in a row, and there might be 3 or 4 that are swinging towards me, but the rest will just be still. And I'll be looking at it going, is she really swinging at me? Because I'm not buying any today. But you'll see energetically you're matching up with the energy of that crystal on the pendulum, and that's why it starts moving in your direction, and you'll see they'll swing a lot, right? So you'll know which ones gravitate to you even before you gravitate to them. And this is just energetically speaking. If you find that there's a whole lot of them and they're just in a tub or something, then of course that's not going to happen. and which was the case when I bought these ones. Most of them were in a tub. These two that when I bought these two, and I love this one too because that's got all the chakra colors on it as well. And this is my tracking pendulum, which is for, well, you can use it, find your phone, find your glasses, find your keys, things like that. It's a tracking pendulum. A lot of people don't know this about me. I started my journey into mediumship, even though I could see spirit all my whole life, and I just thought every house was haunted that I lived in, and I was always running out of houses. Everyone that I lived in. What got me started in using these abilities is that I started to see missing people. And people that had been on the news, people that I'd seen murdered, and they didn't know where the bodies were. And I was like, why am I seeing all these things? What's going on? And I just started my journey to work out why that was happening to me. And so it was inevitable that one of these would come my way, and that I would be working with tracking. And I did have a spirit who had been murdered here in Australia, and she was with me all the time. I'm not going to say her name because it's quite personal to the family and that, but it was on the news, and she was with me all the time when they were looking for her body, who had been murdered here in Australia, and she was with me all the time. I'm not going to say her name because it's quite personal to the family and that, but it was on the news, and she was with me all the time when they were looking for her body, who had been murdered here in Australia, and she was with me all the time. I'm not going to say her name because it's quite personal to the family and that, but it was on the news, and she was with me all the time when they were looking for her body, who had been murdered here in Australia, and she was with me all the time. I'm not going to say her name because it's quite personal to the family and that, but it was on the news, and she was with me all the time when they were looking for her body, who had been murdered here in Australia, and she was with me all the time. I'm not going to say her name. When I hold the pendulum, and there are different ways to hold it. When I hold the pendulum, I can feel the energy from both my hands. Okay, so the way that I hold my pendulum is like that. That's what suits me in my right hand, and having your hand underneath. All right. So this is one that's already been programmed. All right. But before I work, what I would be asking is, are you ready to work with me? So backwards and forwards is how my pendulum swings. When that's a yes, stop. Is my name Samantha? That's my no, sideways. So you all know my name is not Samantha, it's Mary. Stop. Do I live in Australia? So it's backwards and forwards. So that's my yes. Stop. Am I 21? That's a big no. My pendulum's going, get over it. Okay, stop. All right, so that's how you can test your pendulum as well to see, to know, ask it things that you know are not correct to get it to give you correct answers. All right, so I've got a couple here. So this one is a new one, opalite, and it's for emotional releasing. Okay. And this one here is a master healer. So I'm going to use this one to just give you a quick idea of how to train it. Okay. So you will say, are you ready to work with me? Okay, stop. Show me yes. So you've got to get what your answers are. Each pendulum will be different. Stop. Show me no. Okay, so you can see it going from side to side. Stop. You must tell it to stop after each question. Show me maybe. So from my end, it's moving around and it's going anti-clockwise. Stop. And show me wait. Okay, so I'm not sure how clear this is for you guys, but wait is on an angle, going from left down to right. So that's the symbols for this pendulum, or to let me know what the answers are. Okay, so have some fun with it, looking for it, tune into which pendulum you want, and if you have any questions, you can email me, and I can give you a few more answers to help you out. I hope you've enjoyed today, and I'll see you all next week. Have a good week and be safe and smile. Bye.